we're slightly early because I was having a few technical difficulties. Everything was freezing, but it seems okay now. So, hi Paul, welcome. We could just do this face to face, couldn't we really? How lovely. So say hello when you join. I'm waiting for you to say hi on this beautiful, beautiful evening. Hello, Diana. Welcome. Hi, Nettie. Hi, Trandans. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Hello there, Dean. On this very sunny evening that looks about to go dull. I think the sun is about to go in. I haven't accounted for that. Hello, Hydron. Hello, Elaine. Donna, Tammy Lynn. Misty's house. Good evening. Vanessa, hi. Hello, Karen. Yeah, I know, Paul, but we've had some clouds this afternoon, haven't we?
We have.
And a little distant thunder as well. Hi, Tony. Welcome. So we've made it through the week, just about. Yeah, this week's been a bit tough in places. Hi, Caroline. Yeah, it's not been the best of weeks, to be honest. It's been challenging in places emotionally. Hi, Jeanette. Yeah, but you know, we have weeks like that. And those of you who watched my vlog know that I mentioned my friend's cat, our friend's cat, that had to be put on Monday. Hi, Claire. So that was a bit of a wrench emotionally. Hi, Beverly. Yeah, and yeah, it's been quite tough because we now can't decide to just have a week off and not make any videos because we're relying on the money coming in for that. So we have to push through like everybody else, you know, like everybody else when you're working. Well, at least when you're working and you get sick leave or bereavement leave or something like that, compassionate leave, you can take a day out. But in our case, we kind of don't get that kind of pay. So, you know, you kind of got to push through. Who've I missed? Hi, Lynn. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Derek. Sorry, what's that, Jeanette?
Make Sunday Chat live.
Make Sunday Chat live. Yeah, we could, but
no,
that's not something that we're going to do, I don't think.
Sundays.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday is kind of our day off. It's really the only day that we don't make videos on. So we want to kind of protect that as a day off, you know? Hi there, Helen. Hi, Beatrice. Hi, Simone. Hi, Thomas. The washing machine is, yeah, it's doing okay. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, because I don't want any more machine issues. Although we do have a boiler service coming up, don't we, on Monday?
Oh, God,
yeah. That's always a bit nerve-wracking because we have a very old boiler that, and at the moment we really can't afford to have a new boiler installed. So we hope and pray each time that it's still going to work and it's not going to be condemned So yeah, hi Glynis. Hello there, Sarah. Yeah, so I mean, this week hasn't been horrendous. It's just been sort of a little bit emotionally fraught, combined with busyness. You know, a lot of busyness going on, and just having to knuckle down and work as hard as possible to get stuff done. Um, yeah, but hey, welcome to the world, everybody. You've got a plumbing to-do list as long as your arm. I hate plumbing issues. I really do. Hi there, Elaine. Oh, Tony, we can beat that. Our boiler must be 30 years old. Yeah. Hi there, Carol. But it works, and it's relatively efficient. But a new one clearly would be more efficient. So, but that's not going to happen at the moment, unless it really has to. In which case, we'll just have to scrape the money together somehow. I'll sell my body. Yeah. Except I don't think anybody would want it. They'd probably want a refund after the first 5 minutes. Well, I think, Julie, we all go through periods where things break, but it can also be extremely random, you know. One doesn't know how well something has been manufactured. That's the thing. And, also bear in mind that if you've got people working on production lines that aren't very well paid, which a lot of people aren't, you can kind of imagine the scenario, you know? Oh, I'll do this one well. I won't bother with that one. That one's going to break. Do you know what I mean? No, our YouTube money is not stable, Jeanette. It's absolutely appalling at the moment. Absolutely appalling. It really is. Oh yeah, Julie, I know. I know. Things seem to happen all in one. Hello, Rebecca. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, our reliance on so many things, people talk about, oh, I don't want a robot in my home, but we've got robots in our home already, haven't we? I mean, everything is automated. Dishwashers, washing machines, they're all automated things that do the work for us, meant to be time-saving devices, aren't they? Oh, Lynn, yeah. We've had toilets do that. I had to replace a flushing mechanism in the toilet at the top of the house a few years ago, and managed to do it quite successfully, which was great. And it's been working well ever since. The other two toilets are probably on their last legs. But, our motto is fix it when it breaks. Because, yeah, you know. Hello there, Karen. South Africa. Wow. Well, Rebecca, needs must, Hi, Yvonne. I think things with water, washing machines, dishwashers, toilets, plumbing, it's all quite scary, isn't it? Because the scenario is, what if something goes wrong? I think the main thing to always know is where your stopcock is, where the main, water shut-off valve is. And if in doubt, turn it off. When we used to go to Guernsey, we used to turn the water off, just in case. just in case, because knowing our luck, you know. Hello there, Sarah. Welcome. Artichoke salad. Oh, is that Vivi's latest, Donna? I think that came out today. I've not seen that yet.
So
I've not...
the tins we took down.
Oh, was it? Oh, lovely. Thank you, Paul. This is a very, very old shirt that I got in Bali many, many years ago. It's nice and loose and a lovely, really nice sort of thin cotton. And it's very long as well. I kind of quite like a long shirt. Yeah, Nettie, it's true. You know, things go wrong, and there's also the money aspect. There's also the aspect of having to have strangers in your house doing work. You know, if I can do a job myself, I will give it a go. But if I'm not confident, sometimes I've pushed myself to do things, like when I tried to change the shut-off valve on the washing machine plumbing and broke it, and we had to call an emergency plumber, and what should have cost a couple of quid and some time cost 150 quid. Yeah. Yeah, it's true, Julie. I think that's right. I mean, what do they call it? Built-in obsolescence, don't they? Nancy, flapjacks are gorgeous. They're very sweet. But the ones I made partially with honey. So, but delicious. We're getting through them. They have to be eaten. They're made with butter. Butter goes off. No, Sarah, we don't like that either. Yeah. Yeah, Derek, I mean, we hope that, pardon me, we hope that emergencies don't happen, don't we? With our boiler, we have British Gas. What's it called, Paul?
Can't remember. It's like an annual
Something, yeah, service agreement. I've got a tickle. No, Claire, the Samsung, the seal, not the seal, the rubber bit disintegrated suddenly one day. And I looked into replacing it, and apparently it would have cost, because it was out of guarantee, it would have cost probably about 250 quid to replace. So I thought, well, may as well buy a new machine. So I bought a Beko or a Beko, whatever they're called. And within 4 months, the motor went. Yeah, hurrah. Lynn, I think they are if you've got a very, very old boiler like we have. I think it's worth it just for the peace of mind. Yeah, I used to like the little Samsung song at the end of the cycle. I did. I know it off by heart. I know it. I used to sing along. I think rental of machines is brilliant. I really do. But I think the one thing to be aware is that they do charge quite a lot. But you've got the peace of mind that if something goes wrong, it's going to get replaced. Nancy, years ago, I used to have to go to the laundrette on a regular basis when I lived in a house share and they had no machine. Hi, Marilyn. Did I say hi to you? I'm sorry if I didn't. I kind of used to sometimes do the wash myself at the laundrette. I sometimes used to pay for a service wash. where you can leave it and the lady does it for you. But yeah, it's good to have these conveniences in life, isn't it? And I know because I was doing hand washing for the best part of a month, and it was okay because of the heat wave. It really was. Because things dried quickly, but I'd hate to have to deal with that in the middle of the winter. Paul, do you remember when we had that big dinner party and we came to put the dishwasher on and it had broken?
Oh, yeah.
We had a big dinner party. This was many years ago. And yeah, we filled the dishwasher full of everything, turned it on, and it went and broke. We were like, oh my God, we've got to wash up. Oh. Well, Nettie, I believe in positive thinking, but what I don't believe in is the ability for the human brain to affect a machine. I'm afraid I don't believe in that. Machines will break. They're, it's a set of mechanics, cogs and wires, things wear out, things don't get built properly. It's just the way it goes, They're just going to break. If they're going to go, they're going to go. There are a lot of places, aren't there, in big cities where they have like a laundry room in the basement. Yeah, it all seems a bit creepy, doesn't it? But, at least those facilities are there. And at least they're things that you don't have to think about yourself, if things go wrong. I think did you say, Paul, there's a community washing machine at the garage?
The garage, not that one. The garage over there.
A community washing machine, how lovely. I wouldn't wash my clothes in a community washing machine if you paid me. No.
Well, you have to pay the machine.
Not in a garage. I don't think so, Paul. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather hand wash. Yeah. You can buy these really cute little portable washing machines, because in my crazed state, when the washing machine wasn't working, I was thinking of all these things. Oh, in the future, what if? And maybe we should buy one as a backup, blah, blah, blah. But they're all made in China and they're all rubbish, basically. Yeah. Well, we were talking about this last time, weren't we? I mean, gone are the days where people need to beat their clothes on a rock, because we're not that dirty. I mean, long ago, everybody was in manual labor. Everybody was working the land, looking after animals, blah, blah, blah. What? You can't dry clothes in the microwave. That's disgusting.
What?
No, no, no. In the words of Two Unlimited, no, 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 no. No, that's dangerous above all, really. I hope your friend's got a fire extinguisher in their kitchen. So, yeah, what do you mean, is he hot stuff? Paul?
In the microwave.
Vile. Yeah. Seriously. Well, MJ, that actor was our friend's dad, Trevor Peacock. Yeah. So we have no appliance issues this week, but watch this space, because we might have next week. You never know. Just in time for the new season. Just in time for the change of season. Yes, Claire, the rubber, the rubber bit that goes all the way round the door, it just disintegrated and covered my wash with grey rubber. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, MJ. Oh, well, Tony, you know what? Jinx. Pff, my days of worrying about jinxes is well and truly over. Yeah. Well, they can be replaced, but they are actually quite difficult to replace. And I'm not going to be doing it. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do it. What, you want me to sing? No, 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 no. I'm not going to sing it. No. Copyright. Uh, exactly, Claire. It's a hard job. And
But
it
wasn't it that you need to take the whole machine
yeah, you
apart
do.
and it
You
was
need
gonna
to take,
cost hundreds?
you literally have to take loads of bits off the machine to get at it. I looked into it. I looked on YouTube. Yeah,
And
I
it
looked
costs
on
as much as
YouTube.
getting a new one.
It did. It was going to cost 250 quid if I was going to get somebody in to do it. I think I said that earlier, Paul. Were you not listening?
No, I wasn't.
No, you weren't. Very naughty. Yeah, all these things we have to deal with in life. I mean, these things are meant to make life easier for us, aren't they? But they don't very often. They make it more stressful. And, you know, it all points to the fact that we should all still be living in little huts and beating our clothes on a rock and growing a few vegetables. I mean, can you imagine the difference? Can you imagine if we were thrust into that world? I would say 80% of us would not survive. Yeah, well, Derek, I don't normally hang washing out because we've got a lot of trees in the back garden. There are a lot of pigeons in the back garden, and pigeons just like to poo everywhere. And they seem to especially like pooing on fresh washing. And also, we have had foxes, and I think I've mentioned this before. Foxes will play with clothes. You know, there was a bra in the garden, and I think I've mentioned this before. And the foxes had been playing with the bra, and I think that was off our neighbour's washing. So I don't really want the foxes eating the few good clothes I've still got. But what I did do is put the clothes maiden out in the garden and monitored it. Well, Karen, in London, you don't seem to get that lovely fresh washing smell. It's sort of the smell of car fumes, slight car fume whiff to clothes that have been hung out. Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, Grace. You made it. Well done. Hi, Tosha. You made it too. Well done. We're just talking about machines, appliances that break down and the stress of it and all of that. In fact, Grace, I was talking to Paul. We were talking about the failure of councils looking after social housing. And I mentioned you, Grace, when you had that issue with your tap. Do you remember that tap that you were trying to get replaced and the issues that you went through with that? And this is the thing, isn't it? Dealing with contractors, with workmen, with companies, all of that in itself is a complete and utter challenge. You know, why do people make things so difficult sometimes when it's really quite simple? Certainly not, Claire. Certainly not. It wouldn't be a very good advert, put it that way. Hi, Leslie. Welcome. Hi, MJ. We've got 77 people with us at the moment. We've been going for 25 minutes. So thank you all for joining me. It's super fun on this lovely Friday evening. We started this morning with torrential rain, absolutely torrential rain. It really was. Oh, I'm sure, Claire. I'm sure. Well, you know what? Actually, being without the machine taught me quite a lot. What it taught me is we can get away with not doing the bedding every single week, which I normally do. We can get away with having plenty. We've got plenty of towels, put it that way, so that's fine. Towels can wait. Undies are really easy to hand wash because they're small items. So it taught me quite a lot of things. Yes, Marilyn, Claire is my sister. Yeah. Okay, Tosha. Can you give me more information on that? That sounds really interesting. Two robbers, a pair of knickers. Sarah, that's terrible. Sorry, just catching up with the comments. Yeah, I don't know. Life and all of its challenges, just so ridiculous, isn't it? Hi, Simon. Do I worry about getting old? What are you trying to say, Simon? No, I don't. I think I'm aging relatively well for almost 60. Um, so no, I don't worry about it. Live in the skin you're in. Live in the skin you're in. Don't try to live in a 20-year-old skin because it's going to be really weird. Yeah. Sorry, Tosha, it was a dust storm. Wow. Amazing. Yeah, I gave Claire moderator status so she has the power to cut people. Which is more challenging, being Richard's sister or being Richard's partner? Probably being my partner, seeing as I don't live with my sister. But, we all grew up together, obviously, as children, and we always played together when we were little kids. So, yeah, we've always got on. Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about that earlier, built-in obsolescence, I think people call it, don't they? I just think, I really honestly do think that there are random aspects of the production line that don't always go according to plan. Well, MJ, I did consider using the salad spinner to spin my smalls, but due to the hot weather and just wringing them out was enough. That's interesting, Grace. You should give them really poor feedback because, I think our local council is not doing a very good job at the moment.
And they've just been voted as being brilliant.
I know, but the money's going up and up and up. They're charging more now for the controlled parking zone. And this year we've decided not to get a car parking pass because if we do have any visitors, we will just shift our car right up to our fence. So that enables enough space for another small car. It's costing too much. And they're going to be hiking council tax up. Okay, Glynis, thank you for joining us. Well, Derek, we're on SIM only now, and we've had our Samsung phones, which aren't particularly brilliant phones, but they do the job. How many years have we had these phones now? Four?
5.
4 or 5 years we've had the same smartphone and never had a problem with them. We've got Samsung tablets and never had a problem with these either. So yeah, we pay what, just over £10 a month, isn't it, for our SIM only, and that's, I think, unlimited text,
Unlimited voice, and 30 gig of data.
30 gig of data, which is more than enough for us. So, and is that with three?
Yeah.
3, yeah. So we're really happy with that. So,
and O2 as well.
yeah. So, you know, that's what we do. Well, yeah, that isn't that the case, Claire? It's those that you live with. But I think after the length of time, if you've lived with somebody for a long time, dealing with them becomes, it's almost like a dance. You know how to maneuver around each other. Paul knows that I'm fiery, but I explode very quickly. I burn very brightly for a few minutes, and and then it, subsides, and we never go to bed in an argument. We don't really have arguments because I'm usually right. Well, and then you cry for a day. Oh, poor Paul, can you go on? What was I going to say? Phones. We bought our Samsung phones when they were like an old model. So that's what I would say to people. Buy the older models because they're much cheaper. Unless you're the kind of person, and I hate to sound judgmental, but I really can't stand the way that many people have to have the newest model. I mean, some of those models are like £1,000 plus, £1,000 plus for a phone. No, 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 no. I mean, we're very good at, we don't really argue. We don't shout and scream. If anybody's going to shout and scream, it's going to be me, because I'm annoyed about something, or I have an axe to grind about some issue, But generally, we just get on, Life is too short to have arguments and hold grudges. It really is. I think so, Lynn. I really do. And, I would love to get a better phone with a better camera, but I know the model because I had a mobile phone at work that was the model up from the one we have. And that model up is actually quite old now. So if I could get that model cheaper, when I've got enough money saved up, I would get that model because it's got a steady camera. Ours are really difficult to film with, but we do use them quite a lot for filming. So, oh, neither have I, Tony. I haven't got enough friends to justify that. In fact, I so rarely speak to anybody on the phone. It's extremely rare now. Derek, I have still got my Motorola. I think it was the M301, I think, which was big with the big flip, like a little mini brick. And it had a charging cradle. And of course, an old LCD screen. I've still got that. I don't even have a bucket. What do you mean?
Simon said, Richard, do you have a bucket list or something you'd love to
Oh,
do?
sorry. I didn't see that, Simon. I've missed a few comments. I do apologise. No, I don't have a bucket list. No. In many ways, I'm quite content with my life. If I'm totally honest, generally, I find life relatively disappointing in many, many ways, to be honest. Not in a depressing way, but I'm just very disappointed with the state of this world. I'm disappointed with how countries are run. I'm disappointed with how Great Britain is run. Yeah, there's a lot of things in this world that could really, really be improved. You know, I'm disappointed about how people are treated by others, by politicians. Yeah, quite a few things that are disappointing in this world. So I don't have a bucket list. We saw the Northern Lights. That was one thing I wanted to do, but we saw them from London. Done that. There's no countries that I'd like to particularly visit. I would like to probably visit Scotland because I've never been to Scotland. I've never been to Ireland. Yeah. So a couple of things I'd like to do. But yes, I'd just like to stay alive and stay healthy and stay compos mentis, you know, for as long as possible. Really, that's what I'd like to do. Sarah, I've seen those videos of teenagers trying to use a rotary phone. Hysterical. Yeah, Marilyn, it is putting it mildly, but you know, yeah, it's the whole situation. I'm not going to go into it, but the whole situation with the poor people of Palestine is ridiculous. They just need to stop. Stop right now. Just stop. Yeah, I'm not going to get into a discussion about it because there are so many things to discuss. But, you know, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Julie, absolutely. Yeah, they've had a look at this beautiful blue planet and they've gone, no intelligent life there then. Move on. And of course, everybody's going on about this object, Atlas, Comet 31 Atlas, or whatever it's called, that's approaching the solar system. Well, it's just coming into the solar system, saying that it's an alien craft. It's a comet. But yeah, you know, who knows? I mean, if it was oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. If it was an alien craft, take me with you. I'll go. Seriously, I'll go. I'll go. I would go. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Can't even speak. Tammy Lynn, I saw a video of these youngsters trying to read a clock and they couldn't. I couldn't quite believe that. I don't know whether it was made up, but isn't that a fundamental thing that we all learn when we're small children? How to tell the time on a, whatever they call it, a proper clock face. Oh yes, Derek, I saw your posts. Didn't you go down to Brighton and Hove? It is sad, Tammy Lynn, but all all we can do, I mean, we have to be really careful on YouTube saying certain words, because you can get, I think they call it shadow banned, where you just start not earning any money and all of that, you know? So we have to be really careful. So I'm not going to have a full discussion about the situation, because I also have to look after our own interests too. There's a balance. But there are a lot of people on social media really coming out and talking about how they feel. People with a little bit of power and sway, which of course, you know, I don't have. So, yeah. Sorry, just catching the comments. I know you've been to Scotland a few times, Claire, and I've seen photos. It's lovely. Well, I can, times tables I can understand, Nettie, because I have a problem with numbers. So for me, trying to learn the times tables was just emotionally draining. It really was. I just can't do it. I know some of them, but I just can't do it. My brain doesn't work in that way. I can't add up in my head, and I can't multiply, and I can only do basic stuff. So I can understand that, you know. Sorry, just catching the comments. I have a watch. I do wear it occasionally. I love my watch. I like watches, although I don't have a collection of them, but I do like a watch. Thank you, Derek. Well, for me, Grace, I think it was an inbuilt disability. I never got, I mean, I remember them saying at school, oh, he's got a mental block about maths. And it wasn't a mental block, I just couldn't do it. You know, it was just an inability to actually be able to calculate things in my head. I have to use paper. I can do it on paper and pen, but if I'm counting, I have to either imagine dots. I have to use my hands. I can't do it in my head. I just can't do it. Yeah, I think it's probably dyscalculia, but I've never been diagnosed. Yeah, I think that's right, Nettie. Yeah. Thank you, Caroline. Hi, Judy. Yeah, I'm pretty good at I'm pretty good at spelling. Um, I'm not very good with languages. I know quite a lot of French, but I can't speak it very well. You're not getting notifications, Judy. There's nothing we can do about that. But have you got your bell switched on? Yes, Claire. Yeah, it is, Julie. It's called dyscalculia. That's the term for it. Yeah, I think I probably have it. Yeah, I was always good with words. I was always good with writing, reading, spelling, all of that, no problem at all. Hi, Lexi. I used to cry when it was when we had a times table test coming up. I used to cry before it. I used to find it very distressing. And they never took me seriously. In those days, it was the 70s, you know. They didn't really care in the 70s, you know. They had too much on their plates. The classes were big. You didn't get any individual attention. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Helen, yeah, awful. I hated all of that. Yeah. Yes, of course, Paul's great at maths. Hi, Sonia Rose. Simon, it's me. I design the layouts in the house. It's all my doing. Paul couldn't design a room if you paid him to do it.
No, but I can count them up very quickly.
Well, that's no good, is it, when you're designing something, Paul? Nancy. So my school reports, and I've still got them. I've still got my school reports. Basically summed up my year head said something like, Richard excels at the things he enjoys and doesn't bother with the things he dislikes, which is true. Why would you? Why would you try at something you hate? You know, put the energy into what you're good at and what you excel at. You know, that is the mantra of life, you know. And the school system was geared up to maneuver you into certain things, you know. So when you get to, I think, year 3 or whatever it is, it used to be year 3 in secondary school, you chose your options for the following year to do your exams. And the options and the classes were all in columns. Oh, you can't choose that one because it's in the same column. So I wanted to do all the arts, drama, art, music. No, you can only choose one of them. Why? I want to do all of them because that's what I want to do. No, you can't do that. You have to choose a proper job. You know, it doesn't work. It needs to be geared up for strengths, people's strengths. Yes, the basics of other things need to be taught, you know, but even so, they taught us things that I would never use. I mean, algebra, I remember writing in my maths homework, I will never use this. This is completely pointless, and got sent to the head teacher for saying that. And I told the head teacher, this is pointless. I don't understand it. I'm never going to use it. So don't make me do it. And I'm not going to do it. So I didn't. Still passed my maths exam though. Still got it. It was a poor grade, but I still got it. But, you know, I still got 6 O levels and 3 CSEs, you know. So I must have some ability, natural ability to retain information, you know. But algebra, I mean, algebra. The single most useful thing that I ever did was food and nutrition, cookery, O level. Singularly, the most useful thing I did because I have used those basic recipes all of my adult life. So, most useful thing to do. To be honest, I could have done better, but the reason I didn't do better is because I was too concerned about being the class clown and being the rebel. I was the one that would get sent to the head teacher. I was the one behind the bike shed smoking. Yeah, I was that one. But at the same time, I did have intelligence. So the teachers knew that I wasn't stupid, but I wasn't choosing to apply myself to everything. So obviously they were delighted when I did apply myself to things like drama, English, cookery, sociology, um, geography, blah, blah, blah. They were delighted when I did that. But, you know, I didn't do it for everything. And actually, if I look back, we had such a good laugh at school. We really did. We really did. Um, Especially in fourth and fifth year, you know, that was great. Loved it. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The things that we are made to do, the things that we are supposed to, that are supposed to be essential things in life. That I mean, I've never used algebra. I've never used compound interest, you know, hire purchase. We had to do all of those things. I've never used long division, no, which apparently they don't do now. They do it in a different way. Apparently it's all changed. It's totally, totally different. Oh, Elaine, I hope you have a good move. Just checking the comments. Well done, Margaret. Definitely CBA. Definitely CBA. Well, Dean, I remember going to see, because we had to do vocational and social studies as well, which was like half an hour a week or something. And at the same time, we had to go and see a careers officer. And I said to the careers officer, well, I want to be an actor. That's what I want to do. You'll have to choose something proper. I said, well, then a journalist. I'd quite like to be a journalist. You have to choose something else. What about this? What about that? I said, no, I don't want to do any of those things. Well, do you know actors, 90% of the time actors are out of work? I said, yeah, but that 10%, they're paid really well, which is true, you know. We've had a number of actor friends over the years. If you get a good job or indeed a good advertising campaign, you can get enough money to sustain you for the whole year. So, you know, these are the ridiculous jobs that are paid in ridiculous ways. You know, I think stars and musicians are far too highly paid as well. I think crazy wages, crazy. Probabilities, goodness me. Yes, Derek, absolutely. It should, all of that should be covered along with things like household management, cookery skills, how to clean a toilet, you know, how to keep your home.
Some can't even go to the toilet by the time they go to school.
Well, no, and that's very worrying, Paul. Um, you know, things like that, how to keep your home hygienic and clean and tidy and organization, all of that, you know, all of that should be taught. Margaret, I think hairdressing is something I would have been good at. Well, not that you would tell today with this Barnet, but yeah. Okay. So we're coming up to the hour. We're at 54 minutes. We've got 93 people watching. Thank you so much. It's like sport at school as well. I know, Claire, you're quite sporty. I never was. And I just found it to be a complete and utter waste of time. And it got to the stage where I hated it so much that my friend and I used to play truant. We literally just walked out of school. And eventually we were caught and we just told them, we don't want to do it. We're not going to do it. We're refusing to do it. Because actually, one thing that school used to make me feel was powerless. So the need to rebel against that was really strong in me because I've never liked injustice. And I found many aspects of the school system were not just, they were not um, just and right. They were unfair. I did work experience, Vanessa, in the special unit in our school. And talking about hairdressing, we used to wash the kids' hair. They had like a sort of hairdressing setup. And that was quite fun because we used to send the kids home with big 80s hairdos. Their moms used to come and pick them up and go, back combed. Yeah, lovely. I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. You see, I didn't like primary school, but I really enjoyed secondary school because it gave me the opportunity to mess around and challenge the teachers. Yeah. Oh, cross country, Sally. Oh, no, hated it. The one thing I was good at was sprinting. The 100 meters. I did the 100 meters, I think, in just over 11 seconds, which at the time was a record. And the games teacher went mental and said, right, you're entering the Cheshire sports whatever, and you've got to be there on Saturday and you've got to get some running shoes. And I didn't go. I let them down. I let the school down. Yeah.
The school never let you forget it.
And I let the school down. And you know what? I was proud of that because I made the decision. I didn't want to be told to do it. And it was a fluke. It was a fluke that I managed to do the 100 meters that fast. It wasn't something I trained for. I wasn't prepared mentally to enter this competition. So I just didn't go, just didn't turn up. My parents weren't very happy about it, but tough, tough basically. Oh, Lynn, changing rooms. Talk about undignified. Oh, terrible. It's a terrible thing to have to do that when you're a teenager, to undress in front of everybody. No way, man. That's awful. Hate it. Yeah. Oh, showers. No, 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 no. Communal showers. Oh, cold genius. That's useless, isn't it, for them to do that? It's ridiculous. MJ, I was taller than most people, actually. Well, Claire, what happened was we said that we were doing things, I think, in preparation for the school play or something. But basically, that just involved me and my friend Mark sitting behind the stage and just dicking around, basically. Probably smoking. Yeah. Probably setting fire alarms off and things like that. Yeah. Oh, Sarah, that's horrible. Yeah, bullying is really, really terrible. Grace, you were no good at netball. Oh, that was me. I never got picked for any of the teams. I was the tall, lanky one that was left to the last. And of course, Paul was the short, fat one that was left to the last. Weren't you, Paul?
Yeah.
So, I guess that's why we get on so well. Left till last. Bottom of the pile. Yeah, it was that whole process of not being picked because you knew you were no good was also humiliating. But you know what? We have to learn these things in life, don't we? because, like I said earlier, life is full of disappointment, full of disappointment. So let's just get prepared as children for that disappointment, that bitter disappointment. Yeah. Hey, Marilyn, I'm 6'4". Oh, don't, Tony. Oh. Caroline, that's sad. Thank you, Cold Genius. I appreciate that. I mean, somebody said earlier, we can't be good at everything. And it's so true. Um, but the good thing was in fourth and fifth year at school, I remember there was that, feeling of being a senior. What does Rizzo say in Greece? And we're going to rule the school. And we did. You had that seniority. Nobody messed with you other than the teachers trying to control you. And that was good. And also, apart from not being picked, there was a sort of crowd of kids that were the popular kids. I was fortunate enough because I was class clown and existed to make people laugh. I was fortunate enough to be in that group. So, some people weren't as fortunate. Some people tried to infiltrate. Some were successful, some weren't. But that's also something that you sort of learn. Again, it's like a dance, isn't it? You're learning how to be with people. You're learning that some people are better at things, some people aren't. Some people are good at stuff, some people aren't.
And some people are genuinely horrible.
Some people are horrid, some people aren't. You learn who your friends are. Yeah. But we weren't, how can I put it? We weren't a group of super good looking. We were the quirky ones. I guess we were a bit nerdy. It wasn't like when you see in America all these blonde, tanned teenagers with full makeup and hair. It wasn't like that. We were sort of quirky. It was the 80s. Quirkiness was in. You were all individual. You did different things. You tried to rebel, and it wasn't like that glamorous thing. We weren't perfect. Oh yeah, Nancy, definitely. Definitely. Sorry, just catching up with the comments. Derek, you went to a school reunion. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because memory is notoriously fickle. We were watching a program the other day and it was talking about eyewitness accounts. And, in police business, eyewitness accounts are taken with a pinch of salt because people don't remember things as it happened. People generally change things. And I think that's maybe the same with looking back at school. I've never been to a school reunion. I don't know whether I'd want to. I don't know. I've never been invited to one. So there's probably ones that have taken place, but I've never known about them because I don't live up there. Oh dear. Yeah, you are Cold Genius. We're all quirky here. That's the thing, isn't it? I prefer quirky to perfect because I don't think I don't think perfection exists. I think it's just a construct. It's an image. We could all, I guess, be made to look perfect if we really had the time and money. But who wants that? Who wants that in life? Nobody wants that.
Well, we
Unless
are
you're,
all perfect.
unless
It's
you're,
just we're not the general view of perfection.
well, perfection is an agreed state. It's a construct. That's what I mean. You know, there is an image that is considered to be perfect, whereas in reality, it doesn't exist. I guess I might go to one if one happened and I was available. I might be interested to see how people are now. Yeah, but it's getting to that stage in our lives where people are going to start passing away. You know, that's the thing. Hey ho. I think so. I think it is. It's not right. Oh, we always talk to animals. I was talking to the cat. There was a ginger cat in the garden, and I just want to grab them and squeeze them. But they always run away. Yeah, absolutely. Talking to animals, completely normal. Completely normal. Yeah, that's the thing. Time moves on, Nancy. Well, there's nothing wrong with having online friends, Jeanette. We've got, we regard all of our followers here on YouTube and Facebook and our group Planet Vegetaria to be our online friends. So, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Hi, William. Oh, Lizzie, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I worry that a high school reunion will involve a lot of older people slowly getting drunk, which is really not something I'm into. So I think if one did take place, I would probably pop in, say hi, and then leave. Thank you, Sarah. And we enjoy when you post them. They're great. They're really good. You're really, really good at doing the Macathon. So we're just over an hour, so we're going to wind up now and say goodbye. So just want to say a big thank you to you all for joining me here this evening. Oh, let's have a look at who the top fans are then, shall we? Top fan is Jeanette. Well done. Then we've got Claire. Well done, Claire. And then Paul at number 3.
Oh.
Number 4 is Donna. Number 5, Caroline. Number 6, Nettie. Number 7 is Derek. Number 8, Sarah M. 9 is Leslie. And 10 is Grace. Wow, excellent. Those are the top 10s. Well done. There are no cash prizes. So thank you for joining me this evening and all. And it's been a delight. There should be a little thing saying top fans, a little crown, Donna. That gives you the leaderboard. It's fairly new and, it's fun, isn't it? Just a little bit of fun. So yeah, thank you so much. We will see you on Saturday night, Sunday morning for Sunday chat.
Sunday chat.
Oh, a bit of a delay there. And we will be back next week for more recipes. Remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays are recipe days, and my vlog is on a Wednesday. So garden produce is great, Nancy. We've had plenty of tomatoes. You will, of course, see Paul on Monday for a week at the plot. So he'll be talking about hopefully anything else that's being harvested, because I'm waiting for chard.
No, I said I would pick chard when you've decided
Because
on a
apparently
recipe.
it doesn't keep. Must do. People sell it in the shops, don't they, Paul?
You want it fresh.
I do want it fresh.
Come up with a thing.
Tuesday, please.
No, you'll do it over the weekend.
I'm not doing it over the weekend, Paul. I'm having some time off. That's us having an argument. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you for tuning in, joining me. I'm the one who's going to say goodbye first. So take care. Tits and bums and bananas. Bye, Robin Chuck. That's as bad as it gets, Judy. Absolutely. Bye, Cold Genius. Take care, everybody. Have a super weekend. What are we having for dinner, Paul?
Pies and salad.
Pies? Oh. Alexa's chiming in. I don't know why.
Rain tomorrow.
Oh, forecast of rain. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm saying goodbye. I'm putting the phone down. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.